Harry and Meghan have been bumped down the pecking order when you go to the website.
I want to start with this hilarious story. Apparently, palace officials have been trying their hardest to strip Harry of his titles.
The news broke like a thunderclap across the Atlantic. Just when the world thought the royal family drama had finally cooled off, Buckingham Palace lit the fuse again. And this time, it was nuclear. Palace sources confirmed discussions to review royal titles of non-working members. That single line from the BBC sent shockwaves through the internet. But the subtext was even louder. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal status was officially hanging by a thread.
He says Palace Confidential is my favourite source for royal news, and quite right, not that we're biased. Harry said in his BBC interview that he was forced to step away from royal duty due to security concerns. I thought Harry and Meghan had decided to leave royal duty before the security assessment that downgraded their security.
And within hours, yes, literally hours, Prince Harry was reportedly spotted boarding a private jet from California, bound straight for London. No Netflix crew, no Meghan, no smiling PR poses, just a visibly tense Duke of Sussex flying home to face the one thing he's been running from for years, the palace itself. Because this time, the royal gloves are off. It all started early this morning, when a routine press briefing from Buckingham Palace took an unexpected turn. The palace, in its trademark cryptic tone, confirmed that the king is reviewing the titles and roles of non-working members of the royal family. Translation: they're taking a long, hard look at who deserves to keep the titles that come with the crown and who doesn't. Now, let's not sugarcoat it. Everyone knew exactly who that was about.
I think that they are dependent on each other, though.
Yeah,
totally. Well, that's what you said, Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are in total agreement.
After years of fiery interviews, best-selling memoirs, and Netflix documentaries that left the monarchy bruised and battered, it appears the palace has finally decided to respond. And not with words, with power. But what stunned everyone most wasn't just the announcement, it was the timing. Because this comes just days after King Charles was seen holding a quiet meeting at Clarence House with senior courtiers and constitutional advisors, a rare, high-level discussion that reportedly focused on streamlining the monarchy for the modern age.
The wording in the official statement from Buckingham Palace issued on January 18, 2020, does not distinguish between private or commercial use of the HRH.
And if you know anything about royal language, streamlining is just the polite British way of saying cutting people off. So here's where it gets wild. Within minutes of the palace statement, reporters began swarming Windsor, Kensington, and even Balmoral for reactions. Prince William's spokesperson gave the usual no comment. But insiders claim William was deeply involved in the discussions leading up to this. One royal source told The Times, William believes the monarchy can't survive if titles are used as branding tools for personal profit.
Harry and Meghan of their royal titles. The New York Post is reporting that locals in the UK say enough is enough, especially after Prince Harry's disastrous BBC interview, which aired.
This move isn't about revenge. It's about protecting the crown. And that's where things get personal, because to Harry, it feels like revenge. Imagine being the son of a king and now watching your name, your children's future, and the last remnants of your royal identity being debated in a boardroom like a corporate asset. That's exactly why, according to sources close to the Sussex circle, Harry lost it the moment he saw the headline. He reportedly stormed out of a meeting at their Montecito estate, phone in hand, and made an urgent call to his father's office. But the response he got only made things worse. The palace reportedly told him, "His Majesty will see you when you arrive, sir." Translation: don't argue, from California, come home and face it. And that's exactly what he did. By mid-afternoon, flight trackers spotted a Gulfstream jet linked to the Sussexes leaving Santa Barbara Airport under heavy security. Passengers, 1. Destination: Heathrow. Within minutes, the press frenzy erupted. Prince Harry flying back to London amid royal title crisis. It's the kind of story that
whether Prince Harry and the Duchess of Montecito should lose their official royal titles.
Now, let's rewind a bit, because this didn't just happen overnight. Royal experts say this review has been brewing quietly for months, ever since Harry's memoir Spare hit shelves. The book didn't just pull back the curtain, it set fire to it. Accusations of betrayal, sibling rivalry, private family conversations leaked for the world to see. And then came the Netflix series, where Meghan and Harry painted themselves as victims of palace politics and press manipulation while cashing in on the very royal mystique they claimed to reject. To the British establishment, it was the ultimate insult. Even royal aides, who usually speak in whispers, began using words like untenable, disrespectful, and damaging to the crown. So when Charles ascended the throne, insiders say he wanted to take a measured approach, give Harry time to find his footing, to maybe come back into the fold, but the scandals didn't stop. The near-catastrophic car chase in New York, the questionable business tie-ins under the Arkewell banner, the growing perception that the Sussexes were trading royal secrets for Hollywood relevance, it all became too much. And then came that podcast moment when Meghan casually said, "I didn't grow up knowing much about the royal family." It was the straw that broke the palace's back. Because behind closed doors, staff remembered her obsessively reading biographies and rehearsing curtsies before her first royal encounter. That's when, according to palace sources, King Charles finally said enough. But what really pushed this decision forward was Parliament. Behind the scenes, senior MPs, especially those in the House of Lords, have reportedly been pressuring the monarchy to formally define what non-working royals can and cannot do with their titles. One MP was even quoted saying, "The taxpayer shouldn't fund people who profit from titles they refuse to honor." And here's where things get political. There's talk of a potential titles regulation bill, a move that would give Parliament, not the monarch alone, the final say on who gets to keep honorary royal status. That means Harry's future, and Archie and Lilibet's too, could soon be decided not in a palace drawing room, but in a public vote. Can you imagine?
A plan to finally strip Prince Harry and Meghan Markle of their HRH titles.
It's one thing to be snubbed by your brother. It's another to have your royal identity stripped by the government on live television. No wonder Harry jumped on that plane. Meanwhile, back in Montecito, sources say Meghan was stunned, but not surprised. Apparently, she's long feared that the royal family would one day weaponize the titles against them. Still, her reaction was telling. According to a Hollywood insider, Meghan immediately contacted her PR team and lawyers, exploring contingency options, possibly even preempting the story with her own public narrative. Because if there's one thing Meghan knows, it's how to control a headline before it controls her. But the problem this time is, the palace isn't playing PR games anymore. This isn't a rumor, a leak, or a tabloid headline. It's an official review, backed by Parliament, endorsed by the king, and quietly supported by the heir to the throne. That means no amount of spin can stop what's coming next. As Harry's jet crosses into British airspace, the mood in London grows heavier. Reporters are already camped outside Clarence House. Helicopters hover over Windsor. Even the BBC has gone into rolling coverage mode. Royal fans are divided. Some say it's about time that Harry made his bed and now has to lie in it. Others think stripping titles is cruel, petty, and risks turning the monarchy into a cold institution. But make no mistake, for King Charles and Prince William, this is about legacy. The monarchy has survived wars, divorces, and scandals. But what it can't survive, according to insiders, is a brand war. One where the Sussexes use royal identity as a global business tool while publicly denouncing the system that gave it to them. And so, in their eyes, the decision is simple. If you walk away completely. As Harry's plane prepares to land at Heathrow, one reporter outside the airport summed it up best. For the first time in years, Prince Harry isn't flying home for a funeral, a coronation, or a wedding. He's flying home for a reckoning. And whether he leaves the UK as Prince Harry or just Harry Windsor, well, that might depend on what's said behind palace walls in the next 24 hours.
I just find it very uncomfortable, and I think a huge number of your viewers would agree, that you either respect the system, you have your titles, everyone sort of doffs their hat, especially in the US.
Because the countdown to the end of the Sussex titles has officially begun. Part 2. The confrontation that rocked the crown. When Prince Harry's jet finally touched down at Heathrow, the night sky over London was as heavy as the mood waiting for him. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted his name, but Harry didn't stop for anyone. No smiles, no waves, no statements. Just a man walking briskly through the private terminal like someone heading straight into battle. Sources say a convoy whisked him straight to Clarence House under the cover of night, where King Charles was waiting. But here's the thing. The atmosphere inside wasn't royal decorum. It was war zone tension. According to palace insiders, Harry arrived visibly agitated. He'd reportedly demanded that his father halt the parliamentary discussions about the royal titles, not tomorrow, not next week, but immediately. But King Charles, ever the calm statesman, stood firm. "This isn't just about you, my boy," he's said to have told Harry, voice low but unwavering. "This is about the future of the crown." And just like that, the distance between father and son, once measured in oceans, suddenly felt wider than ever. Harry, Payson, reportedly reminded his father that he was still a prince by birth, that the public still viewed him as Diana's son, not as some discarded royal. But Charles' response cut deep.
You said, Jack.
Yeah, I agree.
So we are in total agreement. They are very dependent on each other.
You can't have it both ways. Harry, you can't reject the institution and trade on its name. That's when the shouting started. Word soon leaked that the meeting had gone off the rails. What was supposed to be a calm discussion turned into a bitter confrontation that echoed through the marble halls of Clarence House. At one point, aides say the tension was so thick that a senior equerry stepped in, only to be waved away by Charles himself. This was a family reckoning, and no one was going to interrupt it. But then came the real explosion. Prince William arrived. Apparently, he wasn't even supposed to be there, but the moment he heard Harry was in London, he insisted on joining the discussion. And when he walked in, the temperature dropped by 10 degrees. No hugs, no greetings. Just that heavy silence, the kind you can feel in your bones. Insiders say Harry turned to William and immediately accused him of pushing this review behind the scenes. He claimed William was the one whispering in Parliament's ear, encouraging them to go forward with the move to strip the title.
To finally deal with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Radar Online is reporting that the Prince of Wales plans to strip Harry and Meghan of their Sussex title.
William, ever the stoic one, didn't raise his voice, but the words he did say reportedly hit like thunder. "You made your choice, Harry, you left. You wanted freedom. Well, this is what freedom looks like." Boom. That's when Harry reportedly snapped. He accused William of betrayal, of turning their late mother's legacy into a weapon against him. He shouted that this was exactly what Diana feared her sons divided by the institution she once tried to reform. But William's reply was brutal in its simplicity. "Don't use Mum as your shield, mate. You lost the right to speak for her the moment you sold her memory to Netflix." The room went cold. According to insiders, that's when Harry's composure cracked. He reportedly turned toward his father, hands trembling, voice breaking, pleading for Charles to at least spare Archie and Lilibet's titles. And King Charles, he didn't promise anything. "We'll discuss it with Parliament," he said softly, before turning away, and just